Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about Paquito, one of the strongest burst fighters in the game. In this video, I will also talk about how Paquito works in full details, which includes his passive, skills, builds, emblems, combos, along with some tips and guides on how to use him in a match. So, without further ado, let's get started with the video. Paquito is a solid pick for the EXP lane, but he can also be used as the jungler. And he is mostly known for his sustainability and mobility, as players could easily enter in and out of fights without much trouble. But mastering him can be difficult, especially if you have never used him before. So, in order to master Paquito, you must first understand how his passive and skills work. So let's start with his skills, and after his skills, I will then talk about his passive. Let's start with his first skill. With the help of his first skill, Paquito throws a punch in the target direction, dealing 210 physical damage to enemies hit. And if you hit an enemy hero or jungle creep with this skill, you will gain a shield that lasts for 2.5 seconds. This is the only defensive skill in his kit, as it gives you a shield upon dealing damage to an enemy hero. Make sure to time this skill before using it, so that the shield will be able to absorb most of the damage. Now, let's talk about his second skill. With the help of his second skill, Paquito dashes in the target direction and throws a jab, dealing 200 physical damage to enemies hit. This is your main source of damage and mobility, as you can use this skill to chase or escape from enemies.
Fight back.
So make sure to max out this skill first, as this is your bread and butter skill. Now, let's talk about his third skill. With the help of his third skill, Paquito launches an elbow strike in the target direction, dealing 250 physical damage to enemies hit, and also knocking them back. And after he hits an enemy with this skill, he then returns to his position by darting back. This skill is really effective against enemies with dash abilities, as it stops them from dashing by knocking them up. This is your main CC and stun ability, but it deals lesser damage compared to his second skill. And you cannot dash through the walls with this skill, so make sure to keep that in mind when using this skill. Now, let's talk about his passive. With the help of his passive, every time you use your skills, you will gain a stack of his passive, and the amount of stacks you have can be seen below his health bar. And once you have 3 stacks of his passive, Paquito will enter the champ stance. And during this stage, all his skills will get enhanced, and the cooldown of your skills will also get reset, and the enhanced skills also deal more damage. His passive is the reason why Paquito is so dangerous, as he can continuously use his skills without being restrained by mana and cooldown. And when you hit an enemy with your enhanced skills, you will also gain extra movement speed. His passive is also the reason why you're able to do different kinds of combos. So let's talk about the different kinds of combos you can do with Paquito. Before trying to learn his combos, you need to turn on the assisted aiming mode in the settings menu, as this feature allows you to target the enemy heroes automatically when using his skills. And when it comes to his combos, just like Cho and Guzhan, you can do a lot of combos with Paquito. And I will show you 3 of the most powerful combos you can do. So let's start with the 1-stack combo. This is the most powerful combo you can do if you have only 1 stack.
Let the game commence.
And if you have 2 stacks, then this is the most powerful combo you can do at 2 stacks. And if you have all 3 stacks, you can do this combo, as this is the most powerful combo, and you should be able to kill almost anyone using this combo. And those were 3 of the most important combos you can do using Paquito. And if you master those 3 combos, you probably won't even need to learn other combos. But when playing against enemies with multiple stun and dash abilities, then I'd recommend you to use your third skill more. You can also go to the practice mode and try learning different kinds of combos. And instead of copying other people's combos, I'd recommend you to try out every single combo, and use the combo that suits your playstyle the most. And you must remember, your second skill deals the most damage, while your third skill is able to knock the enemies and stun them for a few seconds. And if you time your third skill, you can also interrupt the enemies when they're using their skills. Now, let's talk about his builds and emblems. Like most other fighters, a hybrid build of damage, cooldown reduction, and defense works best on Paquito. And for that, this is the best build. This build will provide you with defense and cooldown reduction, all while still being able to deal a decent amount of damage to the enemies. But if you want to burst down the enemies in a single combo, then you can also go for this build instead of the hybrid build. This build will allow you to burst the enemies down in an instant. But make sure to remember that using this build will leave you vulnerable after using your skills. So if you're going for the full damage build, then I'd recommend you to opt for Flicker as your battle spell, so that you will be able to escape or chase the enemies with it. But if you're going for the hybrid build, then you can go for Execute as your battle spell. Execute will help you finish off the enemies. And Execute ignores all kinds of shield. So once the enemies have low HP, even if they use Aegis or Vengeance, you will still be able to kill them using Execute. Now, let's talk about his emblems and talents. For his emblem, the Assassin emblem is the best for Paquito, as it provides you with adaptive penetration, adaptive attack, and movement speed, increasing your overall damage potential. And for his first talent, go for Rapture. Rapture will provide you with 5 extra adaptive penetration, giving you higher chances of bursting down the enemies. And for his second talent, go for Festival of Blood. Festival of Blood will provide you with 6% spell vamp, and you will also gain additional 0.5 spell vamp every time you get a kill or assist. And for his core talent, go for Lethal Ignition. Lethal Ignition will increase your chances of successfully killing the enemies. Now, let's talk about how to use him in a match. During the early game, make sure to unlock your second skill first, as your second skill deals the most amount of damage. And make sure to keep at least 2 stacks of your passive before the minions arrive. And this way, you'll be able to use your second skill 2 times in a row at level 1, allowing you to poke the enemy. But make sure not to fight the enemy one-on-one, and your goal should be just poking the enemy, as you won't be able to kill the enemy until you reach at least level 3, so make sure to go back right after you finish poking the enemy. Remember, even if your enemy is weaker than you, make sure not to get desperate, as being too desperate to get kills might actually end up killing you. And once you reach level 3 or 4, you can start ambushing the enemies by camping in the bush. And make sure to help your jungler contest the turtle, as the turtle will provide you and your whole team with extra gold and shield. But if you notice your mage and roamer are not contesting for the turtle, then make sure to retreat and just keep farming in your lane. And you must help your jungler take the turtle only when the turtle spawns on your lane. So, your early game objectives should be reaching level 4, helping your jungler contest the turtle, and trying to get as many kills as possible. And during the mid-game, you should have at least 1 or 2 of your core items by this point. And during this stage, you must start rotating around the map, and try helping your teammates by joining teamfights. But make sure not to overstay in other lanes, and make sure not to leave your lane wide open. And try going back to your lane as soon as the teamfight is over. And as the side laner, you must also prioritize pushing the turrets. And aside from pushing the turrets and teamfights, your main priority should be killing their mage and marksman. Remember, Paquito has the same damage output as most assassin heroes, so you should be able to burst down their mage and marksman without much problem. So, your mid-game objectives should be joining teamfights, rotating around the map, pushing the turrets, and targeting their mage and marksman. Now, let's talk about his late game. During the late game, Paquito is one of the deadliest fighters, as he shines the most during this stage. And whenever there is a teamfight, make sure to wait for the perfect moment to enter the fight. And if possible, try to go for their backline heroes, like their mage or marksman, as they are the main damage dealers of a team, so killing them first would increase the chances of winning the team fight. And remember, positioning and timing is the key to winning during the late game. So always make sure to be patient, as one wrong move could lead to your defeat. Try ambushing the enemy's mage or marksman by camping on the bushes. And also, whenever you get a chance to split push, make sure to go for it. And always help your teammates take the Lord, as killing the Lord could increase your chances of winning the game. So, what do you think about Paquito? Make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments. And consider leaving a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this.